Colleges have very strict rules for reporting student misconduct. And when a Utah State University athlete was arrested last year, school says her football coach and 2 other employees did not follow the rules.
And it cost all 3 their jobs. The KSL investigators examine how this process is supposed to work and why coaches are told to stay out of the way.
You've got a mark on your neck. What's that from?
April of 2023, on a cold night in Cache County.
So that he grabbed kind of her hoodie, and was pulling her.
The reasons a neighbor called police start coming into focus.
You can see some red marks on the front of her neck.
The man they later arrest, a Utah State University football player. Outside the house, the neighbor who called police says in this statement she heard a woman screaming and crying, saying, "Get off of me, you're choking me," and that she was on the ground with a man holding her down. Utah State defensive back Aujani Carter later pleaded no contest in court and transferred schools. But the impact of the case was much bigger. The head football coach and 2 other employees were later fired over how they handled the case internally. Here's how the process should go. When coaches learn of allegations of domestic abuse or sexual assault, they're supposed to report them to the university and then step back. But, citing an outside review, the school says head coach Blake Anderson didn't report directly to the school's Title IX office and then took it upon himself to investigate, writing in this termination letter that Anderson sought out witness statements supporting the player's defense from the victim and a roommate. That's not allowed by the school or by federal law, known as Title IX.
The law is very clear, actually. It says that the investigation has to be done by an impartial person.
Scott Lewis trains coaches on the right ways to respond and says they have an inherent conflict when it comes to their own players.
In some cases in recruiting, they stood in the living room and told a parent they would treat them like their own child. So it'd be like a parent trying to investigate their own kid. You just don't do it.
Anderson doesn't dispute that he gathered evidence or that he relied on an administrator to file the report, but he insists in a response to his firing that he, quote, handled this matter by the book. Look outside Utah and you'll see he's not the first coach or athletic department to be accused of sidestepping the official process. Michigan State basketball coach Tom Izzo got in touch with a witness before police did, as reported in 2020 by ESPN. The same year, USA Today revealed the athletic department at Louisiana State University kept reports of sexual assault to itself. Utah State's situation was different. When this happened, the school was still under federal scrutiny for mishandling reports of sexual misconduct.
If you know you're being investigated, you want to be on your best behavior.
The Department of Justice has lived on campus since 2020 due to football, and we have to be better.
Utah State Athletic Director Diana Sabo took the job after the player's arrest came to light. She and the university president made the decision to clean house.
Our coaches should and do know what to do. And so sometimes good people make bad decisions, and it's really hard, but we have to be held accountable.
Accountability for more than just the coach. Deputy Athletic Director Jerry Bovee and another employee, Austin Albrecht, were fired for how they handled the report.
Schools are taking this more seriously in a way they hadn't 25 years ago. There's not a time when anytime this behavior would be acceptable, but it was accepted, it was tolerated. Far less so now than before.
The university says the football staff had multiple trainings on reporting obligations before this happened. The former head coach says he plans to sue the university and said its administrators are leading a, quote, public smear campaign. The other 2 employees who were let go sent us statements, which you can find on KSLTV.com. Mike and Deanie.
Daniela, thank you. When it comes to domestic violence, it's so important for victims and those who care about them to know that there is help available. You can call the number on your screen. It's for 24-hour domestic abuse. It's a hotline, and that number is 1-800-897-LINK.